have here today joining us Djukebox. Hello, you guys did such an excellent and lovely job playing us in today. How, how's everyone doing?
Excellent.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Feeling a little red.
Feeling
Excellent and lovely, actually.
fed, watered, ready,
Like
musical.
the plant, yep.
Why don't we start off by introducing ourselves? What are you guys' names?
I guess I'll start. I'm Sam Martins.
Chad Irish.
Jessica Lawton.
That's awesome. And how do you guys know each other?
Well, it started with me and Chad, guess going on almost 2 years ago now. I was playing a show over at Dazzle, and I was in desperate need of bandmates. And I ended up running into Chad at a birthday party, and sight unseen almost, I found out he was a drummer and said, "Great, will you play with me?"
It was a friend's open mic Witty birthday party. So there was music, and I saw her play, and I saw her play a song. I was like, dang, I want to play music with her. And then
I just took a leap of faith and found out he was incredibly talented. So
she's like, I'm playing a jazz gig. I was like, I was a jazz drummer. This is great.
this is happening.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And how about Sam?
Later addition to the group. Jessica and I know each other through a mutual friend. We all played Dungeons and Dragons together. And so as soon as I found out that Jessica could really play and she had a group, that I would love to sit in for a few sessions, and the rest is history.
A few D&D sessions or
Both.
Okay. And this is now a D&D entry, by the way. So, what are your characters, classes, and
I can talk about it for a
This is
long
dangerous.
time.
we'll just go with character names and classes. That's it.
I'm playing Grimaldo the Vain. He's a Minotaur paladin.
Whoa.
I don't know much about it.
Well, next your character.
It'd be a Cadillac, and it'd be a...
Oh, you'd be a barbarian.
Bard.
Oh,
I'd
you
be a
can't be a
bard.
bard.
I'm sorry. I don't know these characters.
You'd be a barbarian because you hit things.
Okay. Sure. A heavy metal drummer that's a barbarian.
That's
with
so
two
cool.
clubs.
Like a
That's so
barbarian
cool.
with bard subclass energy.
Barbarian, if you
Barbarian.
will.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
Wow. I love a good portmanteau.
Yeah, and I'm a half-elk bard named Harper Quick.
Did you say half elk?
Half-elf. If I
Okay.
said half-elk, then
That
that's
was
coming later.
gonna
She
be-
grows horns.
There was going to be a follow-up question to that.
lots of follow-up questions. So, how long has Djukebox been a group?
I feel like the struggle with officially calling, the struggle with like calling it a project was with calling it anything and having a name. So we played
Besides just
together.
your
Yeah, besides
name.
Jessica Lawton et al.
And friends.
And friends. And so it was, we played around together for a while, and then we just kept on saying, well, it's not real until there's a really good name. You got to come up with it. And like a lot of names flew through the radar. I think we
Dry
have a...
erase board, just kind of charting down a bunch
No,
of
that
stuff.
was that was terrible. Tasteful shaker egg was like the name of one of our something like that. Like,
Some weird
there was
stuff.
just a lot of things, and then I was like, oh, it'd be funny. It's like Djukebox because it's like a djembe and a uke, and both of our eyes went wide.
Yeah, like spell with the D. Spell with the D.
So that was
like
about a year
djembe.
ago that we really landed on Djukebox, and then it's been since August that you've been touring with us, or earlier than that.
A little earlier.
A little earlier than
Not
that.
much more.
Yeah, around, I'd say like July, August. So it went from a duo to a trio pretty quickly.
That is so cool, and you guys have been not playing together for very long, but it feels like you guys are very well, you sound so tight, really. Like earlier during, our little sound check with the harmonies that you guys were singing, they were really locked in, and I think it speaks volumes about how much experience you guys seem to have as musicians individually before Djukebox. So why don't we talk a little bit about how you guys started playing music personally? What was your first instrument? How did you come to want to perform or write music, etc.? We can go in reverse order this time. So we keep starting with Sam.
Good. Well, I'll jump in on the harmony bit, and I'll spoiler alert for Sam. Both of us are ex-acapella group kids back in the day. So I've been singing for a long time, and it was really tough for me to find an instrument that I connected with. I have a music major, so as a vocalist, I still needed to kind of have a passable ability to play a guitar and a piano, but neither of those ever felt like they clicked for me. And then I actually did an internship out here in Colorado, stayed with a host family that had a spare ukulele lying around the house. And so that summer, I taught myself to play, and it just finally felt like the instrument for me. And even though now I've gone back and I've strengthened my other skills, I just keep coming back to ukulele because I think that the way that it clicks, the sound, the tuning, whatever it is, like when I write to a ukulele, and I try to put it on guitar, and it just never sounds right. So ukulele for almost 9 years now, and singing for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Many of those years that I've been alive.
Cool. Okay.
Started playing drums probably when I was like 10. I couldn't stop hitting stuff. So my parents got me. Yeah, exactly. My parents got me drum lessons, and it changed my life. And this kit kind of evolved from I'm a drum set player, and I wanted to simulate the drum set sounds without having to carry a drum set to places.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't fit.
Pain in the butt.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit in this space. It wouldn't be appropriate in this space, but this is. So this is how I do busking. This is my busking set, and it just kind of evolved with the performance.
Very cool. Very cool. How about you, Sam?
Well, yes. Before that, I played bass, and I played bass. God, it's been like 19 years. When I was in 3rd, 2nd grade, something like that. I took some lessons, and then I got involved with the Colorado Conservatory for the Jazz Arts, and that's a great program. I rock and rolled with that for like 5 years throughout high school. Played in some musicals, played some gigs, and also did orchestral bass.
Ooh.
So pretty well-rounded bass everything.
Some upright.
Upright, yeah.
Those are expensive.
Yes. You are correct.
Every time I think about it, I'm like, that's a small car on stage right now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A new one. Like, a new small car.
I also do a lot of a cappella
Yeah.
with my old college a cappella group in the Buff, and we're still pretty tight actually. We just played our golf tournament, which was debaucherous and wonderful. And yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about Djukebox's plans as a band. You guys have some releases that you're working on. Do you want to be recording some new tracks? You have, I understand that Jessica has her own solo project, and some of the songs that you guys have been playing are sort of, I guess, arranged from that material.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you are officially a band because you have a cool name, what's the angle here?
I mean,
Red Rocks.
yeah. Okay, we're gonna breathe that into existence here and now. Y'all heard it first. I've been songwriting for 7, 8 years now, and so it's been really cool to kind of even just begin envisioning what writing material looks like when it's not just me and a single instrument. So I think what started off is let's arrange songs for what I already have for a solo project. It's been really cool to open up the conversation and say, okay, what are your guys' influences? Like, how can we sit together in a room and try to write a song in a single session? Or, something I would never come up with, I would never think of, is writing a song with a weird time signature, or I wouldn't have necessarily planned a bunch of harmonies. And so there's already, I think, a lot of really cool things coming out of just working together. And now the goal is to have a lot of material that feels like our own and feels like our own individual voices are a part of it. At least I'm just speaking off the top of my head here. I can't speak for these other two gentlemen, but that's what I feel like is the goal, is when we put out new stuff that it feels like us.
Yeah, we've been quite a few songwriting sessions the past few rehearsals. Like one of some of your first rehearsals with you, we started writing new music immediately.
Yeah, so the first rehearsals were kind of interviews that they didn't tell me about. Because I thought I was just sitting in playing some bass. And I was like, oh, this is fun. You guys seem to know each other pretty well. And I think I had the same impression you had, where it was like, wow, you guys are pretty locked in. Like, you've been playing a while. And no. Not as long as how good they sound. We sound now, I guess.
Yes.
Give yourself some credit.
Yes. But yeah, part of that was songwriting, and ate bad Asian food, and
This is always gonna come.
it was so bad.
We wrote songs, we ate Thai food, and I think after that it was like locked in that like the goal is that we move forward as a trio project from this.
Yeah.
And so we just actually wrapped up a show at Enigma Bazaar. We did their Best of Open Stage last Thursday, and so moving forward, like planning on there being shows where we can, I think, utilize all three of our talents. I know that a big goal of ours is, and yeah, of course, obviously, but just getting more exposure and hopefully opening for some acts that we can bring our sound to. I got a really big compliment the other day where somebody was at a show at Mission Ballroom and said like, the opener, I would like to hear you guys up there.
Well,
Great, let's breathe that into existence too.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
And, you know, I like to ask this question a lot because I think it reveals something about the, I hate to use the word genre, but it's sort of like where you guys see yourselves. And quick introduction, the, official mascot of Big Soap Studios is here in the studio with us, Mr. Scooter, with his aesthetic tape on his butt. He's doing great, by the way.
Oh, you're such a good boy.
So, who would you love to open for? What would be like the dream band that you guys would be like?
Regina's band.
We match their sound so well.
Oh, Regina. So good.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd compliment her so much.
Yeah, I would 100%. She's a huge influence on my songwriting for sure, so I would absolutely list her. I sometimes like to say that we, Lake Street Dive has
Lake Street Dive.
some of what...
Oh.
I think that we would complement each other's sounds well. Lake Street Dive, no listening. You can disagree or agree, but either way, talk to me. That'd be really cool.
I told them to tune in, but I don't know.
Amazing. Well, they might have been busy today.
Yeah, they might have been busy. It's hard to say.
And then, I mean, in terms of other bands that are like still around touring, we have a connection to an artist out in Minnesota called Jeremy Messersmith, who's an incredible songwriter, and we both worked with him through like weird collegiate
different times, different places. They both open for him.
I think the interesting thing is like artists who do a lot of house shows too, like who tour but don't tour the big venues. Like I've started realizing how great that is and how much more intimate an experience you get out of it. So like just even getting into some of those more small unknown indie acts who are really big within their own following, but they aren't necessarily playing Pepsi Center, Ballroom, or whatever it's called now, just because that's where I think a lot of the real fans and the real following and the real music is being made.
I always like to think about what it is that makes local music so special, and I think what it is interactivity. When you go to a show and it's people who haven't played Red Rocks and Ballerina and the rest of it, like you can actually just go up to them and talk to them and like tell them how much you appreciate what it is that they did. And I think, as you guys might know, as performers, that means a lot, and it truly is a special experience for audience members as well, that they get to impart that energy onto somebody who fundamentally kind of made their day better, as opposed to like just putting something on Spotify that you may never meet that person or ever get to talk to them or interact with them, etc. I think it has a lot of immediacy, and at the end of the day, everybody that's ever blown up as an artist had to play small shows at some point, probably, unless their dad worked for Raytheon or something. So tell me, are you guys all from Colorado? And if not, where were you born? Where are you from? We'll start with you, Ken.
I was born in Chicago, but I moved here when I was 1. So I can't say born and raised, but I'm pretty darn close.
It's about as natural as you could get. Yeah.
Mostly in Littleton.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was born in Minnesota, or I was born in Iowa. Lived in Minnesota for most of my life. Moved out here 2 weeks before COVID shut everything down.
Oh.
So still starting to get to know the place a bit.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
Weird, tough, bad time.
To move. Sure.
I didn't know you were from Chicago. That's never come up before. Thanks. I was born in Florida, but then I moved to Chicago when I was 1 or 2, and I was there all the way up through 18. I got here after college in Minnesota, and I've been out here since 2015.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you win the
You win the
local
local award.
local award.
Most mostly.
I mean, I'm mostly a local.
Yeah.
It's only like
At
a
this
year
point.
of my life. I consider myself a mountain man.
There you go.
A lot of hippie in my blood.
And you know, to something that you said earlier, that you didn't know that he was in Chicago for so long.
For 8 years.
For 8 years.
So long,
0 to 1.
you know.
From 0 to 1, or that you were from Chicago. I really love it when during the show people discover things about each other that they didn't know or might not have gotten to figure out without my intervention. So another fun one that I really enjoy to ask is, what is your favorite song to play out of your repertoire? We'll start with Jessica.
I have to say it's Colorful, which is the one that has really, I think, blossomed the most since we had Sam join us, because it's always been a song that I envisioned with harmonies, but apart from me just like recording harmonies over myself in my room and then throwing them in Logic and envisioning that, it felt like kind of a moot point to try and force it in live shows, and now it just feels like every time we get to do that, something special happens. So it's like, it went from being a song that I liked to play live to a song I love to play live.
We have a song that, we wrote a song in 5, because I was just itching for 5. I just had 5 going in my head.
Drummers and their 5 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
5 and
Right?
7, and
Yeah.
we're still working on 1 and 7 now. But it's called Beacon in the Night. So I brought this idea forward to do a song in 5, and she had this song lyric in 6. So there's parts of the song that are a combination of both that are in 11. They go from 5 to 6, and then most of the songs in 5, and it's bouncing back and forth.
The nerdy rhythmic stuff is very drumcore.
It itches all my,
Yeah.
scratches all my,
sketches all your
It's
itches.
just all my
yeah,
scratches.
yeah, all the
I'm just
metric
really itchy when
modulation
this
that I
song
wanted to
comes
do.
on.
It's so nice. It's so nice to count in the weird time signatures. I love it.
I love Bacon in the Night as well.
Bacon?
Beacon in the Night. Yes, Bacon in the Night.
Honestly, that's kind of a funny title too.
I know, right?
Bacon in the Night is it's like breakfast for dinner sort of vibe.
Right?
Bacon in the Night is
Or it's like midnight baking.
midnight bacon.
Like a
cupcakes
midnight-
at 11:30.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, I would have to say Walking Disaster, though. It's such a bop. It is such a bop. Yeah, you guys will see.
Are you playing those today?
All 3 of those are still on our set list. So
Nice. None of them have been played yet.
none of them have been played
Saving
yet. So
the
that was a
best for
really
last.
well-timed question.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
So why don't we talk about some of the songs that you guys did play? Opening up as lovely as you guys did, what were the names of those songs, and where did they come from?
We had start off. We had Still Doesn't Feel Okay, and then the other one after that was Isn't You.
That one has quite a impressive little vocal.
Whitney Houston moment.
Yeah.
So when I write songs, I often write myself notes in the chord sheets, and I think I haven't actually looked at it in a long time. You probably know it better than I do, but I wrote a note to myself that later on when I shared the chord charts with Sam, I didn't realize that I had not gone back and taken that little anecdote out. But I think the note to myself at that moment was something in parentheses like, and here's where you hit that note where you make all the ladies and men in the room feel feelings they didn't know they had because they've been, like, it was this whole rant I went on.
It was like Psycho
It was for me. It was for me. And then
It was like laying your heart bare.
it was never
It
meant
was
to
like-
be seen by other people.
No!
Like, let's be honest.
I was like,
did
this
not
is
mean
very private. I'm
for
gonna
anyone to
scroll
see
past
that.
it.
I write from a very emotional place, so you got a little bit of that.
I mean,
Good mantra
While
to have.
learning a B minor D,
I mean, you hit that note super well, and I think you communicate all those unspoken thoughts.
Yeah, I got some tingles standing over there.
Tingles?
It was
Did you feel
impressive.
the feels that make you feel like things you haven't felt?
Yeah, I could rant
Oh
about
my god.
how I was feeling.
Just like lay out our trauma here on this pink sofa.
That's what it's for.
There we
Pink is a
go.
very inviting color. It's healing, It's anti-trauma color.
We wanted to
Anti-trauma.
kind of match, kind of.
We got
Yeah.
reds and whites,
Reds
so
and
we
maroons
danced
and-
around the idea of pink.
Let me just say that I really appreciate that you guys went and actually tried to match on the color palette. That's very impressive that everybody.
We pulled up the picture and asked each other, what are we wearing to complement this couch?
It is quite a couch.
It really is.
It's a great couch.
And you guys look great on it.
Thanks.
So, those two first songs, what were sort of the inspirations, the themes, the subject matter that sort of got them to be songs instead of just thoughts in your head?
The first one actually was a really cool, it came from a songwriting prompt. I was learning about production during COVID and taking like a monthly, like, write a song, produce a song, put things out. And the very first thing that came out of it was that little riff there, because the idea was, you know, imagine, this was from more the point of view of writing for other people. And even though I think I have a lot of folk influence, I don't necessarily write a lot of folky songs at their heart. So the idea that riff was born from was, I'm going to write a song as if I was writing for the Lumineers. Not like the Lumineers need anyone to write their songs for them, they're incredible. But it started off with that.
I also asked them to tune into today's episode.
Wesley Schultz, let's
We'll
go.
We'll see if they were too busy.
I started off with that riff, and what was cool was that as I was writing it, there was this downtown Denver, just like a siren going down the street, and that made its way into the original recording, and it gave this sort of loneliness and this emptiness, which, as we were all at home during 2020, like dealing with life the way it was, I came to this line of, is it okay that it still doesn't feel okay? Because I was grappling with, you know, things aren't as bad. This was like January of 2021. Things were looking better in some ways, but there was still so much doubt and confusion, and I was waiting for there to be this big aha moment where everything just felt good and right and better, and that wasn't happening.
I feel like it still hasn't really happened.
Well, and that's, so the funny thing was this song, you know, I kind of call it my COVID anthem, because everybody wrote one, whether they want to admit it or not.
Right.
And it was really healing for me to sing and create at the time, but I have found that as 21 turned into 22 and now 23, I still really resonate with the idea that sometimes it is okay to live in the discomfort, and it is okay to live in the feeling that everything isn't just fine, but we need to live through the uncomfortable feelings to learn and grow anyways.
Yeah. Very, very wise, very astute thing to say. Similarly, I feel like I wish that I had the basement done and we were actually in a real studio as opposed to like my kitchen, basically.
It's a lovely kitchen.
I was going to say the same.
But it's okay to not feel okay right now. It is a lovely kitchen, but kitchens aren't studios. So, if I asked you guys what the last thing that you were listening to on Spotify was, would you be open? If I opened up your phone right now and I looked at your Spotify, what would it be?
Not the last thing I put on your Spotify in the carpool down here. Like, let it be of your...
Let's start with Chad. He seems the most nervous.
I was listening to Rain Wolf. Rain Wolf, yeah, he's sounds just like it's kind of like Jack.
From
Jack White was like way more raspy and darker. Yeah.
Okay.
Really heavy hitting.
Huh.
Like the guitars and stuff.
So like a two-piece band as well?
No, it's like a 3 or 4 piece, but it's pretty stripped back sounding.
Cool. Love that.
I've been listening nonstop to Hosier's Unreal Unearthed new album. It's just like on any given day, I wake up and I'm just like singing Hosier lines in my head.
That's a challenge. If the audience out there doesn't know who Hosier is, that dude has some range.
Andrew Hosierburn, look the man up.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably Monin by Charles Mingus.
Ooh. No.
Yeah. Those are just some mad horn lines.
I've got that album.
Yeah.
It's solid.
All over the board.
It's almost like we're an eclectic sound.
I do have to comment on that. I feel like, you know, this is a very wide assortment of instruments, and sort of the drum configuration in particular is really unique, and it blends really well. It's are there any plans? Do you guys ever feel like there's some hole missing that you feel like a fourth member would sort of round out the sound further, or do you feel like it's complete right now?
I don't think we've talked about that.
We still need to find a box.
I was going to make that joke, but the idea is Djukebox. We've got the J, we've got the uke, And last I checked, you weren't a box. You
Yeah.
do have your,
I have my
amp
big acoustic
looks
bass.
like a box, kind of.
Maybe if I were to like string it against like a cardboard box.
I do really want you to start bringing your upright bass around. I think we were missing the low end for a while. Bass was something that we were on the search for a while, and I think anyone who's looked for a bass player in Denver can say they're notoriously hard to pin down. So,
Yep, I know.
so
We
with the
are.
fact that we finally got one, and then other than that sound that is your bass, just like how to expand, because you've got this bass, you've got your acoustic bass, you've got your upright bass, and it's really cool. I think because each of us, you play your hand kit, but you also play your drum kit. I do play piano. I play a little bit of mandolin. So we've been experimenting with different instrumentation just within the three of us, and that's been really fun. I don't feel like we're missing.
We messed around with a loop pedal too. We
Loop pedal, yeah.
We're experimenting with songwriting with that too, so that might be a fourth member kind of.
That's the box,
That's
really.
the box.
Oh, yeah, it's
Loop
a
pedal
silk.
box.
The
Yeah.
juke loop.
The Djukebox
Yeah.
loop box.
Not
Not as cute. Not as cute.
I feel like if you put a cardboard box around like the loop pedal, maybe you could like give the impression that like the box sounds are coming out of the box itself. I don't know.
Why do they keep kicking that box?
Maybe like get some kind of electric bass that looks like a cardboard box body or something
Okay.
like that.
I mean,
Possible.
You guys ever make those box guitars
Sure,
in like
I
fourth
guess.
grade,
You
like
make a
art
monkey
class?
face out of
It's like a
anything.
shoebox with strings.
I've seen those. Those are really cool.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys got a fourth member, they would have to be a redhead, right?
Yeah, they
At
have
this
to
point,
have
yes.
or bald or
Bald
Or wears
got-
glasses,
or
I'm
wears
wearing
glasses.
contacts.
Yeah, yeah.
And plays D&D.
I guess I'm
Again, I don't want to.
You're gonna eventually. It's fine.
You are
Eventually, you can jump. You're great. Team building.
I'm already considering.
about the band.
Oh my gosh. But we've joked about, it's like, because the bald thing for the two of them, I'm like, well, it just depends on which side of the head you're gonna be.
Yeah, you can have
Precisely.
You can't have long hair
Red.
and a beard. You can have one or the other.
No, you can only have red hair on one half of your head,
Yeah,
is I
top
think the
half,
joke.
bottom half.
Top half, bottom half, pick one, you can't have both.
It'd be fun to do like an album color where the hair's all on the same side, but like one of us is upside down, or two of us.
Ooh, that's
Right?
really funny.
That's really fun. I
Or-
like that.
Or like
I will volunteer to
like
hang
a
upside down.
triangle of hair that like all pointing sort of.
Also a
Same
good
idea.
idea.
Hair.
We have to grow our beards out.
Definitely got the two beards and then the hair.
But the logistics of that would be weird because both of our chins would be facing Jessica's head.
It could be Photoshop. You just Photoshop it all together.
Okay, that would work better.
Yeah, no, we don't actually have to do like human Legos over here.
I know.
Human
No human
Tetris.
twister.
I don't know if my beard's long enough. It needs to be grown out.
It's getting there.
I usually trim my beard because when it grows out, it's like a big poop.
Not
So-
even-
So, tell me, Sam, what's your favorite holiday?
Ooh, good question. I would, off the top of my head, say Thanksgiving. Connotations aside, I love my family, and we spend a lot of good time together and cook a lot of good food. So, yeah.
Nice. I feel like this question always sort of reveals more than people realize. But let's carry on before I address that.
St. Patty's Day for me.
Ooh, okay.
I used to be part of a bagpipe and drum group. Wore the kilts with the knee-high socks with the knife in it, and like the bag and like the drum, and we'd go to
Yeah, that
all
is
these
awesome.
different
Yeah.
all these different Irish pubs and play. And we were like rock stars. That was so fun. I miss that. I really miss that. But yeah, St. Patty's Day is probably my favorite. Being Chad Irish, I guess. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can always butt up his own jokes. like
Yeah.
that.
Is that tacky? I don't care.
I'll allow it.
Mine's Halloween. I'm not even gonna let you ask the question. It is. I am so, like, all of what's happening outside right now, just the colors and this time of year, and
Did you see one of the neighbors has like this crazy graveyard in front of his house? It's extensive. He's got like I imagine like when he breaks that down, he like his entire garage is tombstones for the rest of the year. Weird.
which makes it really weird when he invites people over. Oh, don't mind all the tombstones.
I should
I
just
just-
leave it out all year round.
These are for my enemies.
These are the guys who forgot to trim their lawns. HOA came around and they sent them to me. No, I love Halloween. I love the character. I love all the extra stuff. I love spooky hocus pocus, just
Pumpkin spice.
pumpkin spice. I have fed these guys pumpkin something at like the last 3 of our rehearsals, and I'm not even ashamed of it.
It's really good, yeah.
Do you have a favorite candy? This is a good follow-up Halloween
Ooh.
question.
I think in terms of like classic Halloween candy, like give me a Kit Kat any day. But if I'm gonna get fancy, I want like the white chocolate, the cookies and cream Hershey's bars.
Oh, those are
Are
nice.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White chocolate's a pretty divisive flavor. I feel like some people really love it and some people really hate it, and there's no in between at all. Same with macadamia nuts, I feel like.
But chocolate covered macadamia nuts are incredible.
White chocolate covered macadamia?
I've not had white chocolate covered macadamia nuts. I was just thinking regular chocolate. But yeah, I just can't imagine how anything with chocolate in it could be bad.
Some people just don't think white chocolate is chocolate, and to those people I say, shut up.
Yeah. As well.
I won't share my opinion on white chocolate.
I'm learning so much about you guys.
Why don't you start by telling us your favorite candy?
Nerds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice. Sour.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Sam?
Oh god, I've had all this time to think, and I think I'd go with Kit Kat as well. I like the crunch.
That was good.
Yeah. But if I'm going fancy, like a nice dark chocolate of some kind. Yeah.
Yeah, those are lovely. So, do you guys have any big shows coming up? Do you guys have any performances that you'd like to shill on the episode, or people you'd like to shout out, or you know?
Yeah, this is where at this moment
There
in
is a
time.
songwriting process.
Yeah, we have not been focusing on booking shows as much as we have been focusing on just like getting this feeling tight. Like that's why I'm really glad that we were able to. They're very busy books. When we did was so that we could come in as tight as we are now, and so now I think it's a lot more of a question of where do we go from here. And I think the glass half empty side of that is we don't have anything on the books yet, but the glass half full side of that is like so we can only go in really cool directions from here on out.
Totally.
Absolutely.
We just had a big show last weekend.
Yeah.
We made a bazaar. We just got to reach out to venues, but yeah, mostly focusing on building new songs with the new sound.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And that guy talked to you pretty extensively saying that we should come to that. What was that about?
So another thing that is a really big part of at least Chad and I's history as a band is open mics have been a huge, I think, influence on us.
It's how we met.
It's how we met, and then it's how we continued. I think even after we sort of decided we were going to play together, like we go to open mics all the time, and that's where we really find our community. It's where we get inspired. Like the second song I did with the more percussive idea, he took me to a show where we saw someone named Daniel Champagne who does a lot of like drumming on his guitar. I was also seeing people just doing really cool innovative things at open mics, and I thought, God, I want to write a song where like I'm not just a melodic or a harmonic instrument. I want to be a percussive instrument too. So I mean, the best place for you guys to catch us is open mics, Corner Beat on Mondays, and the Roxy open mic from time to time, the Wood Spa Brewing open mic, Mercury Cafe.
So many good open mics.
You'll find us at a lot more open mics. That's where you'll find us.
Cool. Yeah, and I commend you for crossing that threshold of just playing as a singer-songwriter with a stringed instrument versus using your hands in a different way when you play a stringed instrument. Tapping on stuff is actually, I feel like, a really hard thing to kind of incorporate into how people use their hands when they're playing stringed instruments. Me personally, I've had a hell of a time getting to the point with like some flamenco techniques and stuff like that that end up with like having to like reposition your hand, over and over, and just getting comfortable with that motion where like normally it's like locked in and feeling like very stable. Cool. Well, we are nearing the end of the show here, and I have one more question before I let you guys play us out. What is your favorite thing about the Colorado music scene in general, or perhaps Denver music scene? Don't say open mics because we already talked. although I do have to say, I think that open mics are like the soul of the community in such a big way. Having an open mic that is consistent and strong. I've hosted open mics in the past, and I feel like having that community aspect where musicians get to meet each other and kind of showcase what they do in a public setting really opens a lot of doors. Sorry, the question was favorite things about the Colorado music scene.
I got one left to go over here. There's a really cool funk scene, and there's a really cool open jam scene too. So there's a local funk band that we met at one of their open jams.
Yep.
That they have their party. It's called the band called People in Between, and they have a giant party, and they just invite everyone who's a musician in town or not a musician, and it's just so cool to have those mixtures of like musicians that you'd never meet because we're always playing shows at different places, and we're all hanging out together, and suddenly it's just this like mixing pot of everyone that we could ever meet, and like super groups of forming. It's
super cool.
Super groups.
Yeah. Big shout out to People in Between. They've been on the sofa.
Yeah.
They'll be back. They also sort of consider themselves a neo soul group. Not quite as much funk, but
Yeah.
quite funk.
Yeah. Funk jams.
Sam,
I love me a funk jam. Just putting that out there.
you got a good slap in there.
Every chance I get. Although this scene is less funky than we'll
I was
probably
like, we
write
could
some
write
funk.
some fun.
I've got some lines ready, locked and loaded, ready to go. But yeah, I would probably say the subset of open jams that is jazz is pretty spicy.
Mercury's got a good one.
Mercury's
Herbs.
good. Herbs. There was
I still haven't been. I have to.
dude.
I have to go.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Go to Herbs early on a Tuesday. When I say early, I mean like 11 p.m. to like 4 a.m. Like all the jazz cats who need to keep their circadian rhythm.
Locked in for their gigs.
Yeah, I've been to a couple
Midnight
shows.
Oil.
Yeah, and they're just it is surreal music played there. If you're gonna do one thing late at night, Herbs on a Tuesday.
Good call. Definitely gonna be checking that out soon. I'm a lot closer now that I moved away from Boulder, so that's gonna be a nice little treat.
Mm.
I think that overall, I have been so amazed by the welcoming nature of the Denver music scene. And I know you said I'm not allowed to say open mics, but I'm going to tie it in a little bit.
It's fine.
The open mic where I first started performing, I started as an audience member, and then I started to play covers, and then I just kept on being met with so much positivity and so much welcoming, just, I don't know, there was just people saying, yes you can, to which, I was in a place where I was still saying, no, like, that's for other people, that's not for me. And I don't think that if I hadn't had the community around me that I did at those open mics, I would have said, no, like, this is a space for me as well. And I would have made that transition from somebody who writes songs for me in my room, but they are never going to see the light of day, to sitting on this couch right now doing this thing.
Having 3 cameras on you.
Like, yeah, all of this. So it's an incredibly welcoming scene. There's so much love and there's so much community, and I think we are so beyond blessed to have this, and people who don't know what that's like, and their scenes might not be that way, it's like, come to Denver and see what it's like.
Yeah, it's a nice, happy little community, I think, and everybody supports each other. There's no sense of sort of cutthroatness.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
very much like, let's all just vibe and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to call that out. And it's good that you guys came here today. I'm so pleased by both your performances and your lovely demeanors. I feel like I would love to have you back when the real studio is built, and I wish you guys all the best in your musical endeavors. How about you give us a little story about this next song that you'll be playing us out on?
Yeah. Well, next on the list, we have 3 songs left. Yeah, I don't have a sticky note on the back of my ukulele right now. This one is, if you're listening from home, this has a solid little clap along part. We like to get this one going pretty high energy at our live shows. So if you're playing along from home, you can clap along, tap along, slap along, stomp along to this rhythm.
This is the one that Sam referred to earlier.
Oh
as
yeah, this is the bop.
The bop.
This is Sam's song.
We'll be back next week for another